I have whiskey. We're doing good. Whiskey on the rocks, if you would.
Oh, that's good. I still have the previous image. I still have the previous image from when I ended the stream last time.
Oh my
I should
god, that's
replace that.
hilarious.
Maybe. Hello, welcome back. I wish I could drink, but I haven't gone to the liquor store yet to buy alcohol. I still haven't bought alcohol yet as an adult, which is odd.
What?
Wow, what?
Wait, hold on. You're the old man here, and you haven't gone to buy yourself alcohol?
Sorry, old man. Talk to Kyle. He's the old man here.
You're older than
You're not
me,
far behind there,
bitch!
bucko.
You're older than me, Kyle, right?
You're still older than me,
And?
Andrew, and you haven't bought alcohol yet?
Yeah.
Andrew's older than me too, I think.
That's the first thing I did!
I think he's second after me.
Yeah, cause it's Kyle, Andrew, me, and then Cammy.
Yes,
What the
no,
fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I don't drink. I'm not a social drinker.
Okay, I mean, I'm also not a social drinker. I'm just a bit of an alcoholic. It's fine.
But yeah, no, but you know, I'll be perfectly honest here. I have not bought it yet. You know, I'm not that far from a liquor store. Literally, I'm not that far by a drive, but I still haven't done it yet. And I'm like questioning myself. Even to walking to work when I still lived in Edmonton, I always freaking passed by a liquor store.
I mean, you lived in Edmonton. There was your first mistake.
Yeah, okay, look, anyway, point being, there are very much big signs saying, hey, you should buy alcohol. Me, what's alcohol? But I want to share more, but I don't want to share it on stream out of privacy. But
fair enough.
There is probably a good reason why I don't drink that often. I do, but I don't do it that often. There are two.
I mean, that's
why.
fair enough. That's fair enough.
There are two good reasons. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna cover the screen for a second, and I will explain now. Give me a sec. Sorry.
Yeah.
I love how
That
it's
was a
just
very
my
long
meme.
story. Yeah, that was your meme for the entire time.
I love
Okay.
it. It's so
Okay.
good. It's such a good meme.
Okay. I need to voice again. Damn it. That my arm hurts now. Shit. Okay.
I don't want to do this freaking assignment.
Right, school. Disgusting.
Basically, what I have to do is I have
Feels
to take
bad.
the top 5 phone brands and pick a phone.
There's top
And-
5 for phones?
Well, like
Technically,
I
yes,
thought there was
because
3.
of the 2021 like brand like market sales, and then I have to pick one of their phones and like talk about the build quality, the user experience, the security, the preloaded software, the brand cache shit, all that shit, and it's
You give me that assignment, I'm going to go overboard with it because I can go into very big specs on phones.
Anyway,
Yeah,
doing the
there-
bare
there's
fucking
a-
minimum I can find on
Attorney.
Google.
we're here to play Ace Attorney,
Fair
not talk
enough.
about phones. Please.
I'm just doing the
Uh,
bare fucking minimum that I need for
I
the
don't-
assignment.
What
What
the
is
brain
this phone you
cells?
speak of? What is this phone you speak of? I don't know what this device is called. What is a phone? I don't understand. Is that some sort of...
What is this
Definition.
telecommunications device? What is this?
It's a
Te-
tech.
te- Did you say
a telly.
telephonesis?
It's
So
a
is
telly.
this-
It's a.
It's a
it's
telly.
radio.
So is this the article? So is this the article in question? Is it? Is this how do you pronounce it? Is that how you say it? Oh, sorry. This is the small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilder 2 months ago. Right. Okay.
Yes, and on the night on the night of Mr. Winterbank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop.
Quick, see what's inside.
The hell is that?
It's a music box.
Mm.
Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems.
Wow. Although, in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case.
It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement.
What kind of name is that?
Then, is it too much to expect?
I think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of the disc, my lord.
Ooh.
So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McGilder's disc, deposited at Wyndham Banks at much the same time.
Strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilded's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus.
But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilded?
Sir, I have a question! I believe the answer will become clear if you listen to the music on the disc, my lord.
Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Oh, Gregson!
Oh, interesting. He objected.
Wait, my lord.
Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector?
My god, I can't spell calendar, guys. I called it a calendar.
Calendar.
It's a
calendar.
calendar.
I'd just like to inform you, I am now imagining a deer, but with a series of numbers drawn on the side of its chest.
Oh, I was imagining a cavalier. You know? I don't know. Anyway,
It's calendar.
calendar.
Oh my god, Apple comes with so many shit. What the fuck?
The music box and the disc are well, they're unrelated to the case. no need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music.
This disc may very well have motivated the culprit, in this case, to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understanding what happened.
The prosecution has no objection.
But no!
Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening.
No further delays, please. Play the disc. Oh, I guess
You get to listen to it now.
It's Morse code.
It is Morse code.
Indeed it is.
Spooky.
What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music.
No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in a regular sequence.
Hmm.
Yeah, Rhinosuke, that's called fucking Morse code.
This man looks like he's having a seizure.
You okay, sir?
He's having a time,
Oh.
alright.
Oh, sorry. You guys are seeing this at like lower frame rate. So if I'm gonna quickly fully max it out. This is what he actually looks like. So it's not. He's not having a. He's not.
That's
He's
not-
kind of still. Yeah, he's still having a stroke. I
It's
guess.
not that much better.
He still looks like he's having a stroke.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, Mr. Graydon, you seem to be. Are you okay?
Oh, this is you.
Mr. Graydon?
This really is priceless.
Oh my god, he's singing.
Oh my god, the dance!
The dance.
After all that, the music box is broken.
Broken? It can't be, can it?
Oh, you fucking knob.
Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom.
Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues. Are you
Why
ready
is
to move
everyone
on,
in this-
counsel?
Everyone in this courtroom's dumb.
Come
We
on.
all know what it is.
Yes, alright. It doesn't sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from this music possibly be a new clue? Yes, it is obviously a new clue. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord. Good.
Lord, but how? But how could it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise! I fail to see how it could have any meaning whatsoever.
It does sound strange, I agree. But there's only one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. As if Gregson
It's a look
recognizes the sound. As if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge.
If that's the stance of if that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this.
Oh.
Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case?
It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Look at that. The smile vanished from Graydon's lips just as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be.
Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Bruno. just
You're
interrupted
acting
me.
just like Hurley. Oof. I don't know if that's a
Oof.
compliment or.
I don't know if it's a
mean-
compliment or an insult. It could be
I
both.
mean, he is a renowned detective.
A renowned detective.
People know his name. It's like Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
But you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not.
Drinking tea? Will, are you pouring yourself a cup of tea right now?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you pouring yourself a
pouring
cup of
yourself a-
tea?
Tea?
Maybe.
We can hear
We
it
heard
on your mic.
We heard that. And you know what? Honestly, I was sitting there. I heard it. I'm like, okay, this could be one or two things. What I don't want to hear, and he's pouring he's pouring himself a drink.
How is this the first time you guys have ever heard that? I usually have this like every time we stream.
Yes, but we never hear it on stream.
What the
This time
fuck?
we did.
Also, you getting tea means I need to get cold tea anyway.
Oh my-
Sorry, what?
I should go for some tea right now. Tea sounds really fucking good. Not gonna lie.
Okay, I'm fine. I have tea, but it's cold.
It's cold tea.
It's cold tea.
I mean, iced tea is pretty good.
It's basically called soft
Iced tea is
drinks in a nutshell.
Wait a minute, did you just call soft drinks?
I'm trying
cold tea?
I'm trying desperately to get through the tea that I have right now because I'm gonna be getting more on the weekend, so I need space.
You need
You need
He
space.
needs space.
I
You're
have, like,
pouring
3
yourself
jars
tea.
full. I have like, cause I have like, well, more, I had like almost 3 jars full of loose leaf tea, and I'm down to like, so I need to clear one out.
Why? You're gonna restock it with more?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my god.
So, how many jars do you have left? One?
If I threw
Or do you-
if I threw everything together, it'd probably fill one.
Okay. That's all I need to hear. Okay.
Like, if you guys want to see this, I'll get you a picture later.
Oh, Cameron?
Oh, sorry. Just trying to get this fucking assignment done. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend.
Well,
Surely you have an idea in mind. Because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument.
Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness.
you've got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yep.
Bruno? I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all.
Really?
Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway.
Thank you, Iris. Alright, well if the music box isn't broken, it must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. Come on. Seriously. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are?
Things just struck me, Bruno. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like this one the one the music box makes.
Yes, it's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, Council?
All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now.
The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friends present proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation.
Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. If I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds in this music box disc is...
I'll be back in just a moment.
I mean, it seems pretty clear what the thing is. It should be the music box, right? The music disc? Or no? What's the evidence? Okay, so...
Just give me 2 sticks.
Okay.
I don't want to write about
Oh.
fucking Samsung.
Try the paper. Because didn't they talk about telegraphs in the paper?
Gonna say first.
Yeah, government secret. Being leaked. Just try it. Let's see.
I'm trying to remember.
Today's paper, Council. Deadline is pawnbroker parishes and pit bears pocket plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause.
No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page.
Further down, Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yeah, this is a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand.
I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being interrupted. And leaked to various other countries.
And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams?
Of course.
Juror number 5, your input, please?
Alright, I'm back.
Stop. Oh! But me, sir? Whatever is the matter?
You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not?
Yes, that's correct.
And the particular station where you work deals with the government communications and newspapers reports?
Oh yes, we're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important.
Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound?
You don't mean to say. Is it?
That's right, madam. It bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from the government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer.
Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets in Morse code?
Okay, please, everyone. But this is high treason, Council. Deserving of capital punishment.
Too much vocabulary. What is this reason? What is capital punishment? The sort of words I've had to expect you to know.
For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price.
Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, That was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus.
But in the end, McGilded perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery.
My word.
In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry, because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country...
It would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death.
So, the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. In order to do that, he would have to gain the entry to the pawnbroker illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon?
You think I'd be stealing secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous.
So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you?
Also, don't mind me as I just put something in Meets chat.
Oh no.
Nothing important to see there.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my god. Oh my god! It's a calendar!
It's a calendar. I love it. I love it.
It is a calendar.
You guys would
I
find
hate
more.
this family sometimes.
You guys would find it even more amusing that I missed the O and open and I just said pen.
Pen.
Nice.
I can't type today.
I can't word.
I mean, fair enough.
Well, of course I do.
Oh, also, because you guys were asking about it, fucking send, damn you.
Aggressive.
There, my tea setup and the leftover tea, or most of it.
You're like your Mario.
There's like a small bag still upstairs, but I didn't feel like getting that out.
Ah, I
Yeah,
see. Someone has been building Gundam in the background. In his spare
Yeah,
time.
you can blame Dylan for that one.
Of course it came from Dylan.
You can 100% blame Dylan for that.
Oh, of course it came from Dylan! Of course it would. Why, who else would it be?
Right.
I haven't gone down that road yet, and I don't intend to for a while.
You haven't
Probably for the
gone down
best.
that road?
I expressed interest and then he dropped like 6 of them on me.
That's funny. I think he was trying to do
Why
something
is you?
like
I
that.
kind of brought that on myself, but still.
How many did you finish? Is that just the one you finished so far? Or no, you have more?
No, they're all. No, it was like 4 SD, so like really tiny ones, and then 2 full size. So you
Okay.
can see one in the picture, and I think there's a second one just a little to the left. It might be out of frame though.
Yeah, I can see a bit of it,
Yeah, you can kind of see like the little like the kind of like translucent red piece like just along the left side. That's
Yeah, I can
part
see
of the
it.
art of the other one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Hey, Mr. Graydon, you have something to say?
I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands a witness testifies in response to the accusations brought on by the defense.
Delighted, I'm sure.
The witness was reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Winterberg. That being a most flagitious offense, for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less a serious crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may...
Oh my god, not these two again.
It's the Skulkin brothers!
Oh, come on!
Oh, they're back.
Alright,
Let's have a random talking, Governor. We got things to say.
I beg your pardon? Who do you think you are?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skulkin, but we ain't baddies enough to sell out our motherland.
That's right. We're what they call
The Skulkin brothers.
brothers.
Oh my god, he's still in the frame again.
Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing.
My god. Oh my god! Alright.
A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information.
Okay, that's bullshit.
Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-class brick maker negotiating with McGilded anyway, was it not? I've no relation to that man. Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night like what you told us to do.
If we'd known there was some dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it!
Well then.
Judge. The poor judge. He's just trying to do his job, and he gets stuck in a courtroom with these idiots. This poor man.
How do you think the regular Ace Attorney judge feels?
Yeah?
He has to do that over
Okay,
6
to be fair,
games!
the regular judge is also an idiot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This poor man.
He's just trying his best and getting this shit in return.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin,
Mr. Do, Governor. What's up?
do I take it now that you admit to the crime, that on the night in question you did indeed gain entry into the premises illegally, and moreover, you did so as a party of 3, in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here?
We did, Gov, we did!
Yeah, Gov.
Quiet it down, please. What say to you to that, Mr. Graydon?
I have no idea what these 2 ruffians are referring to. You little rotter, getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job.
And what about the geezer whose shop it was, eh? All booked in have to die, did they? Ah, nice to know who your friends are.
Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations.
Indeed.
Oh, I think I cut you off. Sorry, Cameron, I think I cut you off there.
No, I was just made a noise.
Okay.
I was personally offended by how much audacity this man has.
Right.
Right?
Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit into the court record as evidence.
Okay, I guess we're
Still.
just jumping into this, aren't we?
But why are we still calling it a music box?
It is technically.
I mean, what else are you really gonna call it, though?
Ooh, what's this?
Wouldn't it? Ooh.
Ooh, a button! I push a button! Oh!
What is it, Runo?
I've just noticed something about this music box. It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well.
Ah, you're right. Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Alright then, here it goes.
Look at that. There's another movement on the underside.
So, does that mean you can set another disc to play back on this side?
Yes, I think so. And it looks like the 2 movements are linked together.
They're linked? So if you...
So if you had 2 discs, they would both play back at the same time.
Who would have thought that there would be a second movement on the underside of this box?
And this movement is like the other one. The comb teeth are all the same length.
So, this movement not only also produces a single tone like the other one.
Yes, it must do. Except that the length of the teeth on the 2 combs isn't the same. So the single tone produced by this movement will be different to the single tone that we've already heard.
What?
Basically, each movement can only produce a single note.
But the notes they produce are different. The music box can only play 2 notes. Okay, so we're not gonna... Oh, can we move the disc? See how the four McGilded disc sits in the music box the man deposited at Windenbanks? It couldn't be a more perfect fit.
So there's no question then. The disc was designed to be played in this music box.
Yeah, despite that, the sound it produces are neither musical nor do they appear to have any meaning. It just doesn't make any sense.
I wonder if perhaps there's more to this music box than meets the eye. Perhaps we haven't discovered all its secrets yet.
What are you talking about? We just did that.
I feel like you were supposed to click on that one first.
This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with the teeth that are plucked by passing thumb. Usually, the teeth on the comb are different lengths so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
Well, what does that mean?
It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound. I've never seen a music box like it before.
Yes, it's strange. A music box can only play a single note. There has to be some significance to that, surely.
We still have...
Oh, dumbass. Okay, dumbass, let's go. Can we maybe... Okay. Can I move the disc? Oh, I can't move the disc, can I? Damn it! I would really like to see if I can move the disc to the bottom. Yes, I know. Alright, well, I have nothing to that, so let's just go press everything.
Hold it!
So, is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted?
How could I possibly know?
What do you mean by that?
Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff at the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information.
Cameron?
Oh, stop. Say something. Stop.
Let me guess. You're number 5!
We... regular communication station officers aren't as lowly as you are being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraph used by the ministry. And Mr. Graydon is the team leader.
That's fascinating. I bet he's just sitting there, standing there like, motherfucker, what the hell are you saying?
Graydon is a highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in the presence of an idol. Stop.
So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Green.
Well, what of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages are sent enciphered. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand them.
No, stop. Must say something. Stop. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communication team. He assists them in assuring that there are no errors in important international communications. He's received the top prize at the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row now. Cipher cracking convention?
Yeah,
What?
I guess that's a thing. Okay. That's fascinating. Man, this guy is just very pissed at her. He's like, you're ruining this. You're ruining this for me. Come on.
It is a highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of an idol. Stop.
Well, your idol would appreciate it if you'd keep your mouth shut.
She should really pick her idols more carefully.
I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
Hold it!
They're not?
To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds.
Of course, of course.
Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code.
Ouch. He looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance.
Aha! I'm more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir.
A lesson here in court?
Morse code is a continuous series of two distinct tones.
Tones, you say?
Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters.
I see.
For example, this is A, and this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you?
But sounds so similar. The rhythm of it is the same in everything.
But there is no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds.
Can I just... I wish the music box would update because I found that bottom part and I've already linked it.
So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
Oh no!
That was the lamest little... No.
Yeah, because I already fucking figured it out. What the hell?
No, oh no. Our case. It's broken.
It's broken.
Oh no. I'm doomed for eternity.
Oh no. Our table.
Mr. Graydon.
It's broken.
Broken. Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future.
Ugh, stop. Nothing to say, but stop.
Frustrating, isn't it?
Iris?
I mean, if the government secrets were somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it be really even possible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? There's still every possibility that this music box was instrumental in leaking the government secrets. That's a belief in defense at least.
Whoa.
Does it please you in some way, my Nepalese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, two tones are required. Dots and dashes.
Yes, well, I'm more aware of that.
Then what?
Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, Council. How did you propose that this music box, in which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to decipher secrets into Morse code?
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear. Yeah. Well, finally, this finally came into fruition. Is it? It's pretty much this, isn't it?
I think so.
Got it!
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the other side of the music box.
What?
It appears, my lord, that the two movements aren't linked together. In other words, you can put two discs in the music box, and the sounds of both will be played at the same time.
Good heavens!
As the card has heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. With a second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message.
This is beyond a joke.
I'm sorry?
This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims.
Oh, of course. If my learned friend were able to present the court with that second disc, that would be another matter. Well,
I can't at the moment.
and may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilded 2 months ago, striking a deal over the discs.
Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it.
Though it has also must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue.
The link between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somewhere, but I haven't found it yet.
Dear, it looks like you need to give your argument one more strength, Bruno.
You will reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon.
I must, though I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination.
Hold it!
So, 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilded killed the brickmaker and stole the disc.
Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember very little about him.
That doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information?
How
that's-
indeed.
Little shit.
There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes of all this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason. In order to take it to the meeting with McGilded and negotiate a deal.
Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that.
An old brickmaker from Artisan Quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together.
There's nothing more to add than that note. Let us return to the witness testimony.
Hold it!
Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean?
Yeah, who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for nothing after all them years. But the Rotter had a dodgy job for us. Hey Ash,
Let me stop you there, Miss Skulkin. After all them years, you say. Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours?
We're the sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say great to China.
Excuse me.
Hey, assface! Is something
That's
wrong, Mr.
rude.
Skulkin?
That's aggressive. Jesus.
The man didn't deserve that, Andrew.
Mr. Rhinosuke, language in the courtroom, please.
Shut your face!
No.
Mr. Skulkin!
Bruno, it's not nice to talk to people like that.
No, the other Mr. Skulkin. Well, who? Me? When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when. Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean? Yeah, with Vash, I mean, you look at him and think he's fancy whistle and flute, and you would add him and even. But when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town, just like us. Is that so? But he was always a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Always coming up with smart ideas like what would never have gone through our heads.
God blimey, ain't that a truth? Remember Milton Skulkin's milk run? That was a cocker, eh?
Save it until after the trial. Your reminiscing has no place in this courtroom. Ow. And neither does your fruit.
You literally throw wine. Shut up.
Oi, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering.
Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Did they just call Rhinosuke a geezer?
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you down your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention
Rhinosuke's
back
like
to the
20 years
testimony,
old,
please?
game. Rhinosuke's legit 20 years old, game.
They just
He's-
called him a geezer.
He's not a geezer. He's 20 years old.
It's good to know I'm
Ah,
a
crap! I don't
geezer.
have it. Damn it! I wish I had a profile right now, but I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? Well, duh.
And
My lord,
Yes, counsel.
the brother's last statement could hold vital information relating to this case.
Very well, counsel. I will permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more! Skulkin's never skulking!
Hold it!
I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
It's a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. Bit of fun, really.
Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was all about. That sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate, but on what? Let's do business name. So this business name was just a bit of fun, you see. It was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved?
Yeah, that's it.
Milverton Skulkin's Milk Run, was it? Yeah, that's it. And where did the Milverton part come from?
Right. Thought the clever dogs like you would have. Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this?
Let me guess, you don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying. Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because well... No. I'm not the happiest vibes that one came from.
Yeah,
You're just spilling this man's dirty laundry. Oh my god.
Yeah, this old man was struggling for money, so much his wife walked out on him.
These guys just don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
This
blame them.
poor man is getting dragged. He might have killed somebody, but this man really
Well,
didn't need to have all this family drama for the entire
honestly-
court to hear.
Honestly,
So mad.
I'll be perfectly honest.
Like, I committed the crime, just like, shut up. Just shut up.
I honestly, I think these guys are under the mentality of, well, we've already been caught. If we're gonna go down, let's take him with us.
No, that's
Might as
fair
well.
enough, but like the second they started talking, I'd just be like, you know what? I confess. I killed him. Make them
You know
shut up.
what?
Make them shut up.
The moment juror number 5 started interjecting at the first statement, that should have been a sign. It's like,
Really?
you're not gonna get out of this if she works with you. These two know you. You're pretty. Everything is clearly pointing towards you. What the hell is wrong with you? Just admit it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'd just be like, you know what? Just take me to jail. It's fine. I'll figure it out later.
Why are we going through? If you don't want your family stories to be mentioned, then you just need to admit it. We're gonna keep digging into them until we find a link. Anyway,
mean, yeah, that's his choice, I guess.
Mr. Skulkin, if you don't mind.
Shut the name Graydon then, see?
But Ash will always be Milverton to us. Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it?
Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. Did you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves, hmm?
You're a communications officer attached to the blah. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon.
Put you in your damn place.
Gotcha, bitch.
Well, it would appear that Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable. For what? You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct?
Very well, yes.
So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things, and it could turn out to be extremely important. All of a sudden, we seem to be up on our necks in the serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still conjecture at this stage.
Would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Ginny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the break-in at Windenbanks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Mr. McGildick.
No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker who was so horribly murdered.
If only there were some link between the two men somehow.
I know, but Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever. I wonder if the key to making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. Duh.
I love his little head shake. It's adorable. He's just
Oh,
like,
like
I
the
don't
other
know.
thing.
No, Mom.
Hold it!
So, did you know nothing about this music box? We didn't know nothing. We still don't know nothing. We ain't planning on knowing nothing about it either. But 2 nights
Sure.
ago, you did indeed break into Bank's pawnbrokery, didn't you? In your original testimony, you said that the door from the shop was ajar and that it was some kind of a sign, begging you to go in. But the truth is, you were planning to break into the Banks all along, weren't you? We were, Gov, we were. You're right there.
Cause that's what he told us to do. It was his plan.
And why was that Mr. Graydon's plan to break into Wyndham Banks that night? Did you not ask the reason? Well, he said your face was full of stuff, Nick. That's what he told us beforehand, anyway. Turned it was a load of cobblers, didn't it? I want the best please, I can tell that, yeah. In any case, if they know the real reason, it doesn't sound like they're going to give it away. Okay, we already pressed that. So, Alright. I'm kind of stuck here right now. I don't know what to go for.
Would you like a hint?
I would like a hint, please.
Okay.
So you just discovered his former last name, right?
Yeah.
Anyone else have that last name?
If I could check my profiles, I would.
You should be able to.
I'm trying to go to my other ones and I can't.
The hell?
Alright, let me press
Did
them
they
for a
remove
second.
that? Okay,
Oh, hold on.
interesting. Ooh.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
okay.
There you
Yeah. I
go.
found
Boom
it.
chakalaka.
Alright,
Oh, interesting. Did they remove that? I didn't notice.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's crafty.
Alright. Yeah, let's go through this. Okay, I was wondering, I was like, I know this sounds familiar, but no. Oh, so that's his father. I'll quickly save here. I'm pretty confident what I need to do next, but...
Objection!
Oh, wrong place! It's not that. Oh, okay, I have no relation to that man. There you go.
Objection!
Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court?
Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me.
No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. Oh, see, now we're getting somewhere.
Explain yourself, please, counsel.
I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And as all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to have been negotiating with McGilded. Yeah,
It's Mr. Mason, the brickmaker?
that's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton.
Milverton? do you mean to say saints alive?
Mr. Ashley Milverton, is not the case that... Is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father?
I don't.
As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history would have been thoroughly tracked when you joined the civil service. And it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records.
The truth is, you have been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it on to McGilded in collaboration with your father. Ooh, look at that twist.
His little dancing arms shows again.
The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth.
The truth, you say?
That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded.
By dint of this music box, you mean, Counsel?
Yes, stealing information being sent in secret government communications, selling it onto McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme by using 2 music box discs to encode the information, as presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands.
And a very effective one, I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever.
The deal with McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met his end.
Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, he appeared at Wyndham Banks 2 days ago in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. It's interesting because the prosecution's going along with this too.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like, he already
because
He already
Van Zee knows.
He knows
Maybe.
at this point. I don't know.
He knows.
He already knows.
He knows.
He knows.
Well,
And I
what's
know
going
he
on.
knows.
And
Hey!
I know she knows.
No spoiling! Let's keep going!
But that attempt failed.
One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other he never found. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc.
Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
Eh?
We never knew nothing about that. On the night,
Oh, I was in the wrong voice. Oops. On the night that Mr. Windenbeck was killed, the intruder to the pawnbrokery touched one item and one item alone: the music box.
That was rather ingeniously demonstrated by using two prints from the security camera, indeed.
So, the question actually begs answering is this: why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since, if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it'd be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all of this began on that fateful night 2 months ago? Of course he is.
I refuse to accept any of this nonsense.
Sir, there appears to be blood seeping through your sleeve of your jacket.
What?
2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime at Wyndham Bank's pawnbrokery. One took the life of the pawnbroker himself. One struck the pouch around Mr. Shlom's waist, and the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm you seem to be trying to hide. It's a bullet wound, isn't it?
He's got you now, Milk China.
Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon.
Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember? And I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Windibanks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. And as you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGilded.
God.
As God is my witness, I'm sure I recall nothing of the sort.
He's not going to go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense now established a crucial fact.
Which is...
Well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the two firearms and that we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sloane's waist, and the bullet from Mr. Windibank's gun. Clearly, it must have been one that got caught in Mr. Graydon on the arm.
Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility of that the man shot himself.
And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Windibank was shot by a third gun, which can only have been fired by the third intruder.
Goodness!
That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could have shot Mr. Windibank that night is you.
Hold it!
Let me guess, he's still objecting. Come on, break down already!
I mean, he looks pretty broken to me. You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I built for myself at the communications station.
Well, I mean, it's too late now for that.
But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility?
What do you mean? What thought? What possibility?
The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see. This makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client.
What?
Are you suggesting?
I saw it all. I saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed the gun at that poor, defenseless pawnbroker and shot him.
What?
Of course he pulled that.
Inosuke was so upset he became the judge.
Order! Well, it would seem that we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial.
Mr. Graydon,
Yes?
I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is fake, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer.
Oh, I understand fully.
Then I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. You will explain to the court precisely what you saw the moment the defendant allegedly sought the victim.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
Of course he is. Alright, let's do it.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Windibank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused, in a black coat, shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood spatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot? Is he an idiot right now?
I
Did someone answer my
you tell me
question?
he was, apparently.
I mean, yeah, he is.
He's very much an idiot. Good gracious, this is quite an extraordinary testimony! For an idiot. You claim, sir, under oath, that to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger.
Dun dun dun.
It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit.
Ooh.
So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation.
The truth.
And also show off my sweet dance moves.
Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Just putting that in there. I had no idea. Sorry.
Yes, well, sorry about that.
Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood.
You say the blood spattered over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point?
Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time.
Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here.
Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord.
What?
Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's the true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry. Damn, Van Zeeks!
That
Damn.
shade, though.
He's throwing it at us now,
Hey,
isn't he? Yeah, he's doing this. Yeah, he's doing this on purpose.
There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound. That's not how science works, Fanzeeks.
Ideas are no use to us here, in science as in law. Theories must be proven before they stand. You also have to remember, Cammy, that this is the friggin' like 1800s.
That's
Yeah.
still not ever how science has worked. You have the theory first, and then you try and prove the theory.
Yeah.
Fanzeeks?
we
Are
never
you-
said Van we never said Van Zeeks was smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're right. I'm sorry, Fanzeeks. I've misjudged you.
In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Lanyard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used, with your lordship's permission.
Jim, get the broom again!
We could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes.
This doesn't look good, Runo.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Ginny's coat. If they test it with their chemicals...
Oh, help, you're right. I was forgetting what happened yesterday. My lord, the defense objects to this test proposed by the prosecution.
Overruled. Lord Van Zeeks, make it so at once.
Pleasure, my lord. My god, guys, I'm almost done this assignment.
Nice!
And while we await the results of the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Once they find that blood on the overcoat, Gina will be...
Counsel!
Yes, my lord.
Your cross-examination.
Of course, my lord. Well, if it doesn't go well, if I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear. Okay.
Hold it!
You mean you had chased after him?
I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop.
And what about this people in the door you mentioned?
Oh,
Amy.
surprisingly, the storeroom door is a solid job, made of stout wood. But there's a small opening in it, about head height, that lets you see what's in it from the outside.
Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night.
What about you burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through the people as well?
I can gav.
Didn't see nothing of the sort, Gov.
I doubt these two buffoons were even aware of the people's existence.
So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winterback take place.
Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and the young girl standing there.
The defendant?
Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man.
And then, what did you see next?
Hold it!
Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with the gun in her hand. But that was Mr. Windenbank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you.
Ah, but no. It wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, the bullet from Windenbank's gun grazed my arm, and yes, the Sculpin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely. A third gun.
Broker's gun was not the murder weapon. So clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time.
But no other gun was found at the scene.
Calm yourself, counsel.
Sorry.
You must consider the events in order. At first, I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then, all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. And it was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back.
A chilling image, I must say.
Hold it!
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room?
That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over.
Over where, exactly?
In the direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then... the girl dropped the gun through the peephole on my side of the door.
But why on earth would she do such a thing?
I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there, in case any more tragedies took place.
So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime.
Yes, it was yours truly.
Or it could be your gun.
I left the clear up to my lackeys and left.
Clear up.
We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flute here told us to tidy up.
He thinks he's a bloomin' mum sometimes.
Well, I was paying you enough, by God. Ah,
Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance the second disc was in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
you're like a bull at a gate, aren't you? Greg.
Wait a minute!
Greg, buddy. You okay there?
Gentlemen!
Just heard him yell. What the heck?
Blimey, blah, 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 blah.
Just, you blimey, man!
You blimey.
Something wrong, sunshine?
That should be my line.
Say that.
You do realize what you were just violently shaking, Mr. Sculpin?
Blimey, this dude's a bit of an hooligan, ain't he?
What was going on just now?
saw him. He snapped your whistle. Why the blazes, he said, didn't you mention the third gun when he got you down the station?
Why didn't you?
'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. All that flaming peephole in the door.
Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are ya?
Oh, blimey. See the way he's looking at me? I'm telling ya, this dude gives me the willies.
That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite worked up like that. He would normally grab someone.
No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him.
Yes, well, I think it might be a special case, Iris.
Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. What's your feeling, Bruno?
As much as I hate to admit it, I don't see any obvious holes in this testimony at the moment.
But I have to find a way to break this man.
And quickly too, because once I discovered the blood in the overcoat on the overcoat Gina was wearing,
It's a bit strange that he's so sure of himself about seeing the blood spatter all over Ginny's coat. It doesn't strike me as the sort of thing you'd claim if you hadn't genuinely seen it happen.
but we know that Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windcrank, so what's going on?
All I know is that it's very unfair. Why should some German scientist's test be acceptable as evidence when mine and Hurley's wasn't? Detectives can use test tubes too.
Never mind that. I have to find a really stark inconsistency in this testimony somewhere. And I have to find it before the prosecutor discovers the bloodstain in Gina's coat.
Hold it!
All over her?
Yes, through the peephole I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now, what with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, that garment is sullied with the victim's blood.
Well, it is solid with blood, that's for sure.
But it's not Mr. Windenbank's blood, is it?
No, it's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when McGill stabbed him 2 months ago.
It's so annoying. If only they'd accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we could prove that.
But they won't, so unfortunately we can't use it as evidence to support our case.
Bother. Smug asshole.
Hold it!
Alright. Mr. Windenbeck emerged from the storeroom, I believe.
Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close. I've never been so scared in all my life!
Yeah, we were just your regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence, says the pair who can carry a gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop?
I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items.
Looking for the music box, of course.
The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1. So I assumed they could handle the situation.
Be back. I'm just
But
gonna make
I
some
was
real quick.
wrong.
Okay.
Sounds
I was
good.
trying to help them, me little bro, but the old geezer chucked me over the bloomin' counter!
So I pulled my gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scarper.
The pair of
The pair of you settling upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker together. Shame on you!
Sorry, Gav.
Hold it!
You mean that's when the moment you were shot?
Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the three men were brawling. It was at exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot.
And the bullet went on to strike the calendar wall behind you.
So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later.
Kyle, fill in.
Ah, yes. Did Mr. Winterbank intend to shoot you, do you think? Well now, I don't imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, I didn't quite strike home. I pulled my gun on him. He tried to shove it out the way.
And then he scobbled through that door out back.
Also, guys, I finished my assignment. Yay!
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 It was due at midnight tonight, and I got it done at 11 o'clock. Woo!
Nice.
Ayo!
At which point, what did you do?
Oh, yeah, I had a feeling there was... My lord! Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination.
Explain yourself, officer.
I have the result of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord.
Ah, the blood on the accused overcoat.
Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel?
No, my lord.
Also, I know you guys can't see this on stream, but I'm hungry and I'm too lazy to cut this.
I do that all
You know
the
what? That's
time.
fair, though.
I do
That's
that
fair,
all the
though.
Oh. That's not good. Discord decided to disconnect. Oh! Sorry, Discord decided to disconnect all of a sudden.
Stream,
Oh,
no.
lovely.
There you go.
We're just you died. You were scared.
See, that's what happens when I try to look at Cameron's freaking camera. The stream just Discord just dies.
Discord just yeets itself.
I'm eating a
What
whole
time
The,
is
food.
it?
the power of food was too strong for your stream.
Okay, okay. I have a bit of time before the computer starts yelling at me, so I feel like we're nearing the end of this.
We are.
Damn.
Right,
Now
Kyle?
the question is, do I keep going until the very end, or do I just? How far am I from the end?
Here's the one kind of catch is once the trial actually ends, there's still a decent like preamble after.
The epilogue, yeah. Well, I'm just wanting to stop at that right before the epilogue. So how far am I from towards the end of the case?
Not very far.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I normally
you
don't
are
do
on-
that.
If it's not this one, I think there's one more, but
Cause
There's
we're...
one more cross-examination. Okay. All right. Here's what we'll do.
Yeah, I think there's
We'll keep
one
going.
more.
We'll keep going until 11:30. That's when my computer starts yelling at me, and we'll see where we're at there, or at least before that time.
Yeah, so we've done.
We just got the blood sample back from the bailiff, or from the police, and of course Gregson is about to reveal. Okay. Anyway, let's just keep going and let's see where it takes us.
What? Well, there you have it.
We are so close. Yeah, we are so close to the end of this. So close.
Alright, Cameron, it's you.
Yep. Oh. Oh. The report, please, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were a result of splattering found following a gunshot wound. End of report.
Goodness me!
I mean, it's pretty clear now at this point. Oh, pirouette.
Ooh.
How fancy.
See? What did I tell you?
Lies. You told us
No,
lies.
the blood in the
sir.
coat is not Mr. Windenbank's.
What on earth makes you say that, Counsel?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Windenbank's, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood in the overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case.
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend?
Wait about 1,000 years from now, and then we'll talk again about that. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Sorry.
A few months ago in this very courtroom. Did you not argue fervently for McGilded's innocence? And yet, now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer.
Let me guess. He breaks the chalice. Okay.
How does he not get glass in his hand?
I don't know.
He has padding. He has padding in his gloves.
You know.
Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country.
But that was.
I call it a bally disgrace. Treachery, that's what it is.
How to determine whether the blood in the coat's 2 months old or not? Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer that problem pop out. It can't be done! But, we've used Mr. Slum's specialty formula chemical. My God, how
Mr.
slow-
Slums is a detective, not a chemist. Would you put some faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer?
I held out Brzezinski to starving boy and he ran away crying.
Sherlock Holmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this court. No weight in this courtroom. No weight at all. I said.
How can you say that?
I don't know what I said instead of weight, but it sounded like I don't know. I said a weird thing. I can't English.
Yeah, that's fair.
Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish.
How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accused coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could have possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid, and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
Ah! My lord. Oh, never mind.
Been a long battle.
Alright.
This old warhorse has something to say now, if you please.
Mr. Foreman?
As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Of
Guilty.
course.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Of course, they said all guilty.
God damn it, Gina.
Well, it would appear that, ladies and gentlemen, the court jury have reached a unanimous verdict.
That's it. Drink from your hallowed chalice. The defense has consistently failed to unpick the Here's any attempt you may make at unpicking the juror's decision being equally successful.
I don't believe it. And I've come so far. How's it all unraveling on me so fast? Oh, Kyle, I think I know who this is.
How very distressing. Be held in such low esteem.
Cammy, do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Officer, you've delivered this report now. That will be all, thank you.
Uh-huh.
It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than a human mind.
I know that voice. Am I going mad? Ah! Of course it's him. Of course it's him. Of course it is. Mr. Sloan!
He was the bailiff the whole time.
Look at that pose! Strike it, Herlock! What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital.
As well I should be, had I not been set upon an errand.
What errand?
Oh. Cammy, you're not here!
Hurley, it's really you! You're awake at last!
Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you'll humor me.
In what manner, sir?
I have something of great importance I wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time?
What say to you this, Lord Van Zieks?
This trial has taken many hours of the court's time, having spent so long already.
Exactly. Having spent so long already, don't want to go wasting any more precious time.
As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes.
Very well then, counsel. You have 5 minutes.
I love how Van Zieks is like kicking you in the ass, but also like, I'm amused to hear you, defense. Keep going.
I feel at this point, half of it is he's actually helping you, and half of it is just to spite Gregson.
Yeah, I feel like it's both. Also, my mom came in and asked me a question right as Iris was talking, after all of just her not talking.
Yeah.
It was great.
Herlock,
Don't you love when that happens?
I just like, I wish somebody got a screenshot of freaking Herlock with the mustache because like,
I didn't get it.
I'm
sorry.
sure there's a picture of that somewhere.
Yeah, it probably is somewhere.
I'll take a look later. My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival.
Mr. Shlomes, are you alright now?
Alright, I'm all wrong.
Sorry.
I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out.
Let's make this discussion as short as possible then.
Iris,
Ugh.
Not me! Please, this place is full of idiots! I had to summon the mental strength to say it. I read it and I was like, oh. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is!
Iris say what everyone else in the room is thinking.
Literally, I just had to like take a minute and just appreciate her.
Right?
I
Oh,
mean,
well,
she's
nothing
not
much.
wrong. Everyone in the room is idiots.
Yeah, that's why I had to appreciate her for a second. I just had to bask in her genius.
I was just throwing shade at everyone.
Yup.
Ah, well, the concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community. An oversight on my part.
Right. Modestly? Surely not.
But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow.
What's that? A lavender futoshiki wrapping?
A leaving present from Miss Susato.
From Mrs. Otto?
If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor.
I don't understand.
Miss Susato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand.
Oh no.
And that you, Mr. Naruhodo, fighting fairly as you are wont to do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel.
That music though.
It's pretty good.
Alright,
Those
let's
were
keep
the
doing
dear
this.
lady's instructions.
A leaving present for Fusato-san. Whatever could it be? What is this?
Oh. It's
Oh.
It's the machine I made.
Ah! Hi. But why this?
What's Susie up to?
Miss Susato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant.
What? Did she say something like that? Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Shlomes?
That night, when you left Winterbanks in pursuit of the thieves, Miss Susato made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. That is your answer, dear fellow.
No, not at all cryptic then. This is other than use this clap-fat-bomatic that night? But why? I'm scratching my head on this too a bit. Jim, you got the broom handy? Alright. I'm sorry I know you just brought it back to the closet, but you're gonna have to come out again with it. Okay, but hold on, now I want to investigate this for a sec. So, it's a flap-o-matic, yes. What's this? Oof! Those vicious teeth look like they could rip up through almost anything.
Good, aren't they? They're made of a special alloy I developed just for this job. The cutter rotates them 10 times per second, so it can get through any kind of door in no time at all.
And what are the two parts of the top there?
Ah, those are for attaching hinges to the section of the door that gets cut out.
Right, of course.
Nothing can match this machine for power. It can make mincemeat out of even the toughest of doors.
It sounds so charming and friendly when you say it's for, but it feels like the reality of the Cat Fanatic is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction.
Well, guy's so adorable. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him, even when developing deadly weapons.
I mean, same, Iris. Same.
Wait.
I would also develop deadly weapons for my brothers.
Wait.
I would develop other deadly weapons for my pet friend as well, especially one as cute as Mega High.
Wait.
It's
No. No, don't tell me.
We're sitting here discussing murder weapons for pets, and Andrews is having a mental crisis.
No.
What
Oh my
Okay,
God.
Andrew.
Figured it out 5 minutes ago.
What are you thinking, Andrew? Please amuse us.
No, you're not gonna get a peep out of me. I'm gonna keep going at this.
No, tell
And then we'll
us.
I'm not
keep
gonna say
talking about
anything.
cats.
No, but I just realized something very big, but I'm not gonna say anything other than that.
Well, I already know,
keep
but
talking about
like,
cats, and
I'm
you're
just.
I mean,
incorrect.
two of us know.
Yeah, two
I
of us
know.
know. And Cammy probably knows because Cammy has the brain cells today, it seems.
I mean, I'm always the last
I
person
have
to
the
have
stream
the brain cell.
cells.
Okay. Keep
I have
going,
Ace
keep going,
Attorney
keep
brain
going,
cells.
keep going.
That's all I have.
Your
Just keep
5
going.
minutes is over.
We're out of time already?
I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper.
I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast.
Is it really?
The jurors are unanimous in their learnings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summonation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile.
I wonder. Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes.
the rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan?
The rest is down to me. I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, the defense requests...
What do you want to do, Andrew? What do you want to do? Do you want a hint? You should probably save just in case you pick the
No, I think I know what I need to do here, because...
I love
Even
how
though
we're like save and you're like no as you save.
I'm not
Further-
saving.
Further cross...
Screw you! I'm not saving. He saves.
I'm not saving, you're saving.
Literally.
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now.
Yeah, but you forget. The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness. Rather, to continue the one with one of an existing witness.
What?
It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper.
Yes, because I still recall the judge had just suspended the proceedings right when the blood splatter arrived. I'm just gonna go through all of this. I don't really care. has been temporarily suspended. So technically it's still ongoing.
So nobody can say anything then. If Runo asks to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon,
The court is obliged to allow it.
This is absurd. Oh, Van Seeks, you big baby.
I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request a continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it.
A single chance to present evidence?
If following that the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witnesses any further.
My lord.
Yes, my lord.
A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands.
What kind of collapse is that? Mr. Schlopes!
Down he goes.
Bye!
oh my
Bye,
God.
Herlock, you dum-dum.
To stand so insouciantly before the court in a state of such high fever. Either that man has extraordinary strength of mind or extraordinary lack of feeling.
A little
Yes.
bit of both there, sir. I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers.
Strike a
They
man
moved
when he's
him
down, why
quick.
don't you?
Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared?
Well, you really don't want, like, a sleeping,
Yes.
injured man
One
laying in
statement.
the middle of your courtroom floor.
Oh,
No,
I
but
think
like
so.
that was so fast. That was instantaneous.
Right. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Slums down, or Iris. And I won't waste this final chance that Sata-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial.
Very well then, under the terms I've outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
Ooh, we have different music. Okay, let's review this again. While these references were just in broker is still in the interest of the shop. When Windenbag was thrown over Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp arm in my pain. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the people in the door, though. But here's the thing. I'm gonna quickly look at this again. I think it's gonna give me the same text again. Yeah. Get through any kind of door in no time. And yeah, of course. Nothing mentioned. Sounds so charming and friendly when you say it before. It feels like. So. I mean, it seems pretty clear what I need to do. End the stream here. I'm kidding. No, I'm not going to. We're pretty much. We're pretty much at the end. I'll beat myself up tomorrow. It's fine. So if the notification pops up, I'll just have to take a brief moment to cancel it.
All I know is that once we are done this, we're moving on to Greatest Attorney 2, and it starts off with Susato as like the
Hey,
defense.
spoilers!
We already talked about this.
I know, but I mean, still.
We talked about it on stream. People know.
I know, but still, come on.
It's also
Anyway.
really easy to tell it's fucking Susato.
That's fair. Alright, well, I mean, it's pretty clear. I hope I'm right.
Objection.
Good, I'm right.
Congratulations.
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, Council? Oh, sorry.
I didn't.
Pressed that, didn't I?
Oh, it's my cat Flap-O-Matic, my lord. It makes a way for cats to get in and out. It can get through any door you can think of and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please without their owners having to...
I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves. But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case.
Oh, really?
Of course it doesn't. To start with, there is no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door.
Oh, there's the notification. Okay, CD. Shut down. Dash A. Log off is cancelled. Okay, let's keep going. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I failed to see what this has to do with the matter at hand.
Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine, in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon? People, you say?
2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene of the only minutes after the murder of Mr. Windenbeck had taken place.
That's right. According to the paperwork at the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes.
Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole at the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see the inside of the locked storage room.
This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake?
Yes, how could you?
What?
Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
Alright, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through. Ooh, the animation keeps going even after. I didn't notice that.
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was...
Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered with the crime scene. Whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions, this is a most serious act of vandalism.
For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes.
Riddled with... Explain yourself, counsel.
The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony appears to incriminate the defendant. It is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door.
Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back.
However, if at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you've claimed to see. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies! Objection? Oh, no.
Is there any credence in this revelation?
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize.
Exactly. This is just some cheap trick designed to discredit me.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything can cut through a solid wooden door?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors.
That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second.
Haha, I had a feeling you'd say that.
What?
Waggy, cooey, time for dinner.
Oh my god, she made a cat flap! Oh my god!
Well,
Young lady, this is the Old Bailey. One does not make cat flaps in the oak paneling at the Old Bailey.
I'm not done yet. Don't worry. This doesn't mean that the peephole in the storeroom door at Winterbanks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was.
no, but it's easy.
Of course, fucking Iris would just carve a cat door in the courtroom door.
Of course she would.
I love that for
Just
her.
on a whim.
She's like, oh yes, Weggy, come here. And there's just a fucking cat door.
Meow!
Like,
I just want
what?
to point out, Wakahai is now in the courtroom right now.
He's just chilling.
He's just vibing.
Yeah, Wegahai is just, you know, Wegahai. He's just having a good
also take
time.
a moment to appreciate that somehow nobody noticed Iris cut that door.
No,
Until
that
she
short
got
amount
mad.
of time. Anyway,
What?
The cat flaps my cat flap-o-matic creates are all of a fixed size. And the dimensions of the peephole at Winterbanks are an exact match. Old Silky's lost for word.
excellent work,
I don't
Iris.
know what
Thank
that
you.
sentence was. Oh my gosh.
Old Silky, I love it.
Alright, what do you have
And-
to say now?
And now it's my land students' friends' turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. I almost said
Yeah.
Irish home. And I'm
Oh my
like,
god.
Susanna,
She Irish now?
yes,
This one's Irish now.
she's not Japanese,
She's
she's Irish.
She's Irish lost now.
Yes, oh no.
Oh
don't
no,
do
they
that.
killed it! Don't come back from the grave!
Well, yes, that's true.
Kyle, you can never do an Irish accent around us again. You need to fix that, right?
I'm just gonna be there and be like, it's McGilded back from the grave. He's coming to haunt our asses.
You're gonna do an Irish accent for anything, and someone's just gonna scream and go, "McGilded's back!"
McGilded's
great.
back!
It's gonna be
No,
great.
No, I will be somewhere very far away from here, and one of you will just somehow pop out from around the corner and be like, "Gilded, is that you?"
Yeah. Yeah, we would.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
We're not
Um,
crazy.
then you may have some difficulty in establishing all the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume the people has dimensions that are a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the people cut? The prosecution demands your proof of answer.
What is the purpose of your inquiry, Lord Vazix?
It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that this people was created after the incident using this device. But now the perpetrator has returned to her native land. She cannot testify. There's no proof. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made. My learned friend's claim accounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation. Those are the most expressive yells I've ever heard, Andrew. So expressive. 10 out of 10 acting would hire you again.
Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel.
Give up now, Runo. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Suzato-san is the greatest digital assistant in the world.
Aww.
Very well, the counsel and defense will present evidence to support the claim made.
Proof that the
peephole was made.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So
I'm gonna
cute.
save just to be sure. There you go. It's the images. You can see it like fucking right here.
Take that!
What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again?
My judicial assistant, Mrs. Sato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof.
And the necessary proof is this photographic print, counsel?
This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises.
Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker.
But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background.
Let me see that print again. I don't believe it. This is really quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom, it's completely devoid of a peephole and of any description.
Mr. Graydon, you couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because at the time that it happened, there was no people in the door.
Ugh.
In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies.
Gasp.
There it is.
Pirouette.
Nice breakdown.
Order! I'm satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious.
That's not the only thing we now know all beyond a reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. But more importantly,
Good lord, there's more Lord Van Zeeks.
the defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer.
Yes, that's right.
What?
I was there at the scene, it's true. And I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Oh, please. No. I don't believe this. But no, they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit.
Still, he can't worm his way out of it now.
Iris?
You know what they say? There's no point in locking the cat store after the cat has bolted. Isn't that right, Bruno? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories.
Oh wow! Isn't that ironic that Miafe would recite that very line once again years later?
We love Mia Fey.
Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense.
Make no sense. What do you mean by such a remark?
What you just said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there is a fundamental inconsistency with your statements.
What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel.
Ooh.
Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency. Blah.
Iris is right. One lie begets another. The inconsistencies revealed by the lies in which the witness's statement they show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about, namely
The people.
the point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted is so revealing.
You're not making any sense.
Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the people in the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously I...
Has the cat got your tongue, witness?
The people in the door was made after the incident occurred. And once
Even
I
the
returned to the
judge during
shop,
puns.
after having failed to catch the two burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windenbanks constantly carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
Well, yes, of course. The place is chock full of pawn articles, and my lads had to have to thoroughly examine them all. So I gave the order to have the officers working around the clock in shifts so that we could get through it all.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the people in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
And yet, that fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the people in the door.
How is that possible?
Could I have a word, please, Lord Van Zeeks?
Speak, Inspector.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's really not more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you...
Permission denied.
Oh.
It's not all the same to me, Inspector. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes.
Of course, sir.
Mr. Graydon, You shouldn't have known about the existence of that people. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you have uttered have extremely serious implications.
Yes. But the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon had claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And, in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person it could be.
Who is this person in question, Counsel?
I hate to do this to you, buddy, but you leave me no choice. I'm just gonna quickly save just to be absolutely sure I'm correct. I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, but, you know. Better safe than
You're
sorry.
correct, don't worry.
You are correct.
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Hey,
Objection!
You better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend.
Well, consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed. Preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess, while the police executed the subpoena and brought the man from the communications station.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time he was summoned?
Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume that he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position. He would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder.
You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information, so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin?
Exactly. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson.
this is a bloomin' outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigations to this fella, eh? I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that?
Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery.
Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred.
Oh, I just remembered something, Bruno.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh yes, now that you mention it, when the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilded's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it! It was during that testimony! Yeah, they were conspiring in the background. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then.
You little toe rag, you're making all this up! I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this bloke?
Admittedly, he wouldn't have given any reason to do something like that for no gain, but perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense.
What deal, counsel?
I wonder if perhaps in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance.
Malfeasance, yeah.
Malfeasance. There you go.
Malfeasance.
Well,
Jesus Christ, we're just committing so many crimes in court today, aren't we? Perjury, malfeasance, Jesus. What's next? Someone's gonna get killed?
Everybody's guilty.
The name of the streams from attempting to point fingers at people to committing crimes in court.
No, it's like this is the Spider-Man pointing me, but it's everyone's guilty.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
Yeah.
Van Zeeks.
Oh, it's becoming clear. That jumping in with accusations is a snippety student's specialty.
I don't do that.
But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
Evidence?
Just what are you opposing? The inspector demanded of the blah. He's not a Graydon anymore. He's the blah.
The blah.
The blah.
The blah.
The witness in return. Okay.
The witness in return. The court must see proof of this alleged deal.
If Inspector Gregson did really strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, then logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it!
You know, do you think it could be?
Yes. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
I must press you for an answer now, counsel. What evidence?
What evidence, Lee?
Okay, now the question is it the disc or the box?
I don't think it matters.
Take that!
Inspector Gregson! Besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case?
You getting that now, sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what alluded to this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas for from the Ministry of Justice?
How in the bleeding Nora could you?
We discovered this during the course of the trial. The music box deposited Windenbags by Magnus McGilded. A special music box designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So, I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for the details of the case.
You little.
Order!
On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windenbanks, you said this.
I love this music so much.
Scotland Yard already knew at the time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGillard was involved in stealing of government secrets? Oh wow, he has even more crimes up his ass.
That he
My
does.
orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leak from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush hush.
And that explains why, when I presented this disc to the evidence of court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
Well, I mean, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all.
Inspector, surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal confidential details of the same crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony?
There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men. Oh my god. We're just taking the two of them down right now.
Objection.
Oh my goodness.
Fact
Gregson's just trying to do his
Gina,
job.
the fact that Gina's just probably standing here just going like, what the fuck is going on?
She's probably dumbfounded because she's just caught in this entire mess.
Just
like,
how did I get pulled into this?
Right?
Like she didn't even want to be involved in all of this, and yet here she is, you know, friggin' innocent as all heck, and she's like, what
the
is
hell's
going
go-
on? Governmental
Yeah,
secrets?
she's like-
I just wanted money, like, please.
Not even. She literally went to Windenbanks to go make sure Iris's manuscript was there.
I know.
Like, she was just trying to do something nice, and she's basically caught in government conspiracies. Like,
No.
it's so unfortunate.
She's just sitting there like, what series of life choices did I make to get here?
Literally, I sit there and think about that every day.
Mood.
Alright, come on, we're nearing the end now. I need to wrap this up.
Oh my god, it's midnight.
Yeah,
Holy
that's why
shit.
that we're literally, I feel like we're literally at the end of this trial because this music's playing. This is my indicator that we're nearing the end of the case. So I need to know, like, I need to get this over with now. So
Okay.
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. I know I'm a bit rushing, but it's already 12 and I should be in bed now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Anyway. Oh,
Van Zieks.
Van Zieks.
Oh. If, and I stress, if this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, in this very courtroom.
Wait, what? In this room? How can you possibly make a claim like that?
Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
What?
What's that supposed to mean, eh?
As a seasoned policeman, the inspector would have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious, then you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc actually on his person?
Oh my god. Finally, the yes comes out. It's been a while since we heard
Hey.
yes. The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Definitely. They could only have one. Wait, hold on. They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Gracie hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector,
This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if it'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search.
What? He's going to agree to it.
I presume you're aware of the I can't speak, on which you're now on which you now teeter, my learned student friend.
I presume you're aware of the precipice of which you now teeter, my learned student friend.
Learned student friend. Haha. You made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end. And my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
That sounds serious.
Indeed, to have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
Oh, Iris.
Oh!
So, you know, no pressure.
Cammy! Cammy!
Cammy! Are you coming here, or is she? She might be talking to her mom.
Then I will do
Alright.
it because anything to get away from fucking Demon Iris.
You're just threatening Bruno because you're scared.
You're just threatening Bruno because you're scared. Hey, at least it wasn't Demon Iris. I'm okay with that. At least it wasn't Demon.
I'm not willing to send out Demon Iris, demon character just yet.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. This must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. But somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, Counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist firmly requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
It's not with him. It's not with him. We have to search someone else.
Alright, search who?
Oh, Cammy just texted our group chat and said Discord
I'm
straight
here.
up crashed because the wind was taking
Oh,
the
you're-
Wi-Fi with it.
I'm here.
You're very lucky. I didn't bring out Demon Iris.
Yeah, but yeah, Discord straight up crashed because the
Yeah,
wind is currently just taking my Wi-Fi with it away.
That sucks.
It's
Okay.
blowing it away.
Okay. I need some guidance here. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's not with Gregson right now because he willingly did this without consent.
You are correct.
You're correct.
So it clearly has to be with someone else.
But who? is
Yes, the
question.
defense formally demands the search to be conducted.
Wait, what?
Don't say you weren't warned. But your typical Nippony stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good.
Fair enough. I've got nothing to hide.
What? Did I select the right one?
know if you did.
What did you pick?
Search someone else.
Angie, what did you pick? Keep
Well,
going, keep going.
No.
Oh.
Hold on.
That...
I said search someone else.
Yeah. Keep
no,
going,
you
Ed.
need to keep going.
Yeah, you need to keep going.
You backed out too early.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't aware.
Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector's personal effects.
Oh.
I love that animation so much.
He's like,
Makes me
oh, wait, where did my desk lamp go? Oh, the defense demands a search, but not of of Inspector Gregson.
What?
Now, what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
No, Inspector, not you. Somebody else.
What's the meaning of all this, eh? busted at life, have you, Sunshine? The court shouldn't have put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Wait, who's that? Oh, it's Iris.
Runo's doing what you told him to do and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith.
Oh,
Yes,
damn!
queen.
Damn!
Because that's the British way.
Iris queen.
No, fucking preaching, Iris.
Even Van Zeek's, like, I don't know if you saw in his model, but even he's like smiling a little. He's like,
Yeah.
yes.
10-year-olds are scary, man.
10-year-olds are scary.
If a
Yeah.
10-year-old was yelling at me in court, I'd probably just cry.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction, and eagerly awaits his next words.
You what? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure I know who has the disc at the moment. There's only one person it can be.
Counsel, of whom do you request the
Such now. Now the question is, who has it? Does Ashley Milverton have it? Okay,
Oh, you tell me.
I don't know now.
Because we know the answers.
Alright, you know what? Just tell me, because I'm really not in the mood to think about this. Is it Ashley?
It's Nash.
No. It's not. It's Nash.
Oh.
Take that!
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now.
Everyone? Yeah, there you go.
Yes, I remember now. Thank you for reminding me that. Okay. Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never.
Limey! Him! Him?
Hey.
Very well then, bailiff. Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Please, my lord.
Inspector?
Scotland Yard, has to object to this search.
There we go. There we go.
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here.
Eh?
In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
But Lord Van Zeeks.
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course in this trial.
Bailiff, carry out the search!
Now, hold on about. No, nothing. Nothing about now, disc. Cut it out!
Ah, here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. I found this.
Good lord, that...
Another music box disc.
Got it. Nothing.
I like how his brother is just completely shocked. He has no idea what's going on. I think he's.
Great.
I think his brother's like the most reasonable guy out of this entire bench right now, because these three have been implicated of such things. Nash has the disc. What his brother has been? He's just been eating an apple and chilling.
I mean, fair.
That is the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson?
Order! Mr. Skulkin, what have you to say for yourself?
God, Bennett. I mean, just God flaming Bennett. I swear, I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain what's exactly going on here? The alleged deal was struck between this witness And this detective, no.
To that question, my lord.
Then, for pity's sake,
Andrew, you're
why on
back.
earth? Oh,
Why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that Inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gretchen is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall. What unusual behavior?
It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon.
Peanut butter baby.
Yeah, he did know. I mean, Nugget was gonna fall clean off, I did. I was wishing. I've been born to be proud that I was.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me, whistled, and then started shaking me. Why the blaze didn't you mention the third gun when we got to down station? That's what he said. He held it right down my ear, all he did. My head's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back at it now, it must have been then that he did it. It was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Well, bless my wig. He hid it.
You.
But I'm afraid I fail to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would then he proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions.
Hush, hush. A top secret assignment, is it?
As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential governmental communications. It would seem that if the information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
Operating under direct orders from the Ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
So, realizing that there is a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took the steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness.
Oh, does this mean?
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him to slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretense? Well, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Graydon, are you prepared to admit the accusation made against you of this alleged deal?
Admit to it. Yours truly, please.
Mr. Graydon!
Clearly, our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole?
I'm under no obligation to explain.
What?
Yes, I lied in my testimony. That I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with the detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of this is about.
What? Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I am acting in the best interests of the country. Whatever I've done, it's in the name of justice. So, as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you're making your decisions.
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary to meticulous that word in concluding of a trial. I'm not gonna say that.
Avunculousness.
Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leadings.
Well now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector.
Oh my god, seriously. Oh,
He's a dependable man. I'm quite sure in service one becomes a good judge of character.
Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me.
Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really. Raiden is a highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in the presence of an idol. Stop.
Detective is very much trust in eyes. More than this, I cannot say. I don't believe it. Those 6 jurors are... They're going to believe Gregson. If they declare the decision now...
Is Ginny gonna be found guilty?
If I don't manage to procure some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windenbank or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness.
Well then, counsel, I think it's time I impose on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court.
If I let the judge call out to the jurors to announce their leanings, Sheena will be found guilty.
Choice then, Runo. You have to throw some more evidence at them.
This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against, Gregson or Graydon?
I'm guessing you just want answers? Do you actually want to guess?
I just want answers at this point. Like, I know... I'm trying to wrap my head, like, I have to either prove one or the other thing, and the problem is that going through everything, do I even can I even prove it? So what am I gonna do?
You can. You
Yes.
absolutely
Okay,
can.
so what am I
Yes,
going to
yes.
say?
Gregson.
Gregson.
Inspector Gregson, there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
What's that then?
If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly.
Well, go on.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit the deal clearly struck with Graydon. Alright, what's the evidence?
Music box.
Music box?
That.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take that!
Ah, okay, I see where you were. Yeah.
Remember, you did just get the second disc.
Is that Mr. McGill's peculiar music box, counsel?
Yes, with the disc already in place ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we just discovered set in place as well.
Goodness, this disc, counsel!
No, wait! I can't let you do that.
Why not?
Because it's got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Not true, Inspector. The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message, and now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
For crying out loud, Sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here! If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it treason!
Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you enraged the unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie in court, and all because by a fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare.
Don't you dare. I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. Oh, he's just drinking. He's just pouring wine. He's watching the occasion.
He's enjoying the show.
He's drinks in show. Drinking a show.
My lord, if you please, the court must hear the sounds made that music box.
Come on, Van Zeeks, for Pete's sake, stop him!
Objection.
Oh, the foot came out.
Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet.
Yes, Van Zeeks.
In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. So let me propose a toast. To uncovering the truth
Oh my god.
by fair means or foul.
Blink.
Very
Yes,
well,
Van
the defense's stance here. Very well. The defense's stance here and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set to in operation once more. This time, with the second disc in place and both discs playing simultaneously.
Okay, I just wanna gush about this for a second, but that was a really cool pan.
Right.
That was so nice.
Right?
Oh my god, he let it play out. Oh, listen to
It's
that.
like a little beat.
It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code.
Well, I mean, it's also a nice little beat.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Alright, I admit it. Whatever you want. Just shut that bloomin' box up!
Oh, well, I guess I won. That seems pretty clear now at this point. Of course, it just took a stupid Of course, it took the music box just to make him break. Let me ask you again, then, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole at the pawnbroker's storeroom door, Inspector?
Did?
All I heard is did.
Did.
Stop! What are you doing, man?
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer says. When the trial resumed after the recess and we were stood here in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile. Shut up!
You're really gonna yell at
Kyle, you get
fucking
to talk with
police
Cammy
officer?
for a bit. I think this is.
Oh, boy.
This is.
Great.
I think that's Graydon.
Ugh.
Kyle.
Oh, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector, with me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed.
I couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. The peephole in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury.
I did. But then it turned out that the peephole had only been made that night, after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely, this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbroker the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windenbank.
You...
Oh,
Oh!
he broke his cane.
Damn!
Oh no. Oh no.
Sir, that is a police officer!
Oh no, his chip! Oh my god.
Bailiff! Restrain that man!
Oh,
At once!
Oh my goodness. Poor Gregson.
I mean, that's it then. It's all over.
I
Kyle?
despised my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying, to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole.
And you eventually become a communications officer. I admire your determination.
But then you decide to try to sell government secrets? Why?
Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out, with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever. Then one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Kyle!
Oh, piss, don't make me do this.
Yeah,
Not
you got
the
to
Irish
do
accent.
You're going to do that again.
Here
Unless
we
you
go.
want- Unless you want a devilish.
Alright.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you
Oh,
wanted a
I'll
dev,
pop
if
it.
you wanted a devilish, McGilded to speak.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Why don't you throw it away if you're interested? All you need to do is go along with me with the plan now.
Gilded, is that you?
The ghost. The
Yes,
ghost.
it is.
The ghost.
I'm sorry,
was
you guys.
scared.
I'm sorry. Did you guys say something?
I don't know. I thought I heard
I was-
Magnus McGilded, but I'm not entirely sure.
I know, Alright, Mr. Graydon, continue.
I was steal the Ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the Ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task.
The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy it is to succumb.
But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing.
And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable.
By using the music box.
My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child.
Ooh, that's the first time Ace Attorney has mentioned divorced. Now that I think of it.
Hmm.
Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again, to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier.
I'll do this. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, huh?
Very interesting impression there, Judge.
It's fine, be that way.
So judgy.
Of course. He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made.
Music box discs, eh?
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I've brought the score with me. There are two, actually.
I've been delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft.
That's how I made him make the two discs.
Thereby splitting the information in two. You were taking some considerable precautions indeed.
It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs, and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas.
So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago was the second part of the deal, the exchange of the second disc?
Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
But that doesn't make quite sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was it on the omnibus 2 months ago? Your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded, and not yourself.
When I received the 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me,
Next time there's an exchange, You let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore.
Oh, I see what he did.
That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the discs I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home. It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge.
Revenge? Oh my god, he's still pouring more wine.
Fancy's
Fancy's
just enjoying the
just like,
narrative.
"Fuck, I need a drink."
He's just enjoying the narrative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man will no doubt be able to imagine, McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from the start to finish.
My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all.
I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then. So I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in the city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that.
Are you saying that?
I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly.
McGilda's death that day was caused by this man? So that policeman who came to tell McGill he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right, an imposter hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell.
Don't have a hat again.
Still don't have a hat there, buddy.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death.
Oh, a spine-jiggling account indeed.
But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see.
Loose end.
Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded.
Oh, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded.
Oh no, he's... Oh no. Kyle, you're reading this yourself.
Oh my god.
Or you could just stop it
Make it
here.
stop! This is gonna go for a while, I think.
Yeah, this is gonna go for a while.
Likes listening
Okay.
to
'Cause there's-
himself talk.
Fuck.
Okay, well, you know what? We're
I
gonna
didn't
find
realize
out.
it was gonna be that long, good lord.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
me
It's
every
pretty
time.
late.
This is me every time I play a Genshin event and I forget how much everyone taught. And taught.
Alright. Anyway,
Oh,
we're calling
reminds
it
me of
here
Space
tonight.
the damn TV.
It's only 3.5 hours long. It's fine. It's almost
Alright,
1 a.m. It's
so-
fine.
It's almost 1 a.m. We're fine. Alright, well, we're ending it here. Thanks for watching. Come back on Tuesday. We'll wrap everything up and hopefully we can get started on the next one.
Yay.
I've gone way longer than I should have. So, yeah.
All of us
Anyway.
are dying.
Wait,
Yeah,
are we
have
Yeah.
a good night. Bye.
doing Tuesday or are we doing
We'll figure it out, okay? So have a good night. Bye.